What's your name and how old are you?
I'm Craig Bullock, and I am 18 years old.
My name is Liam Bishop, and I'm 19 years old.
My name is Mark, and I'm 18 years old.
Anna Plumley, and I'm 18 years old.
What type of autism do you have?
I actually don't know. I never actually, looked into it.
I have Asperger's. I was diagnosed with it at 4 years of age, and I also have high-functioning autism, which means I fit more into society than other autistic people.
Well, I have Asperger's syndrome. I don't know since when I had it, but so far as I know, it has affected me, for a longest time.
How would you explain autism?
It's a type of mental condition that develops during fetal development, like other mental issues like schizophrenia and all that. But it has a lot to do with learning disabilities and social disabilities. But there are benefits as well, such as if you get very, very interested in a subject, you can usually do better than the average person.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot more struggles at a young age when you're first diagnosed.
Well, I know it's a learning disability that many have, that kind of again, hard to explain. Never looked into it.
I'd say it's something like I believe it's a learning disability that makes you lose your focus when you're learning. But I think I have slight problems with that. But in the end, I seem to figure a way out of this mess.
How has autism affected you personally in your life growing up? Have you ever had any experiences where you felt autism has affected you as a child?
Oh, there's countless times it's affected me as a child. For instance, when I was in primary school, I used to be completely antisocial from everyone else, and thankfully, since I was one of the lucky kids, they all understood me and they didn't really alienate me in a way. But that was just complete luck.
And for instance, I used to consistently daydream. I used to always,
One thing I found was the colours on the walls, because I used to have them colourful things all the time.
Oh, you mean those ones I made out like kind of styrofoam sponge that you kept scratching and kept making those dents in them? I did that all the time. Never spoke to anyone, just kept everything to me. And yeah.
Well, while growing up, I've been seeing like doctors. My parents maybe see doctors to, test like my motor skills, reflexes, my memory. While going through school, I've always had like a teaching assistant to help me read what they wanted me to do, what I had to write, and so far it's been just alright. Okay.
Well, ever since I was younger, I was more active. I used to be more social, but now I don't feel that active, and I don't. I rarely talk to way too many people as I used to be when I was little. I'm not sure. I think this is how I felt about my experience with autism, how I felt when I was growing up.
Because sometimes people can either be quiet or they don't understand, they try to talk to everybody, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When I was young, I didn't know I had autism until I was approximately about 15. Yes.
Because you're not really exposed to it that much, you're not taught about it because nobody tries to force that upon you, do you think?
Yeah.
Now that you're older, have you found ways to identify or deal with certain situations differently from when you were younger?
Now 18, I've actually become more mature, and I now have a good understanding about certain things that, while the younger version of myself wouldn't have known, I've learned to be more independent and learned to grow up more to be a modern citizen.
Well, I am not sure. I am definitely not sure if I figure out any ways or situations to get out of those problems. I'm not sure. I am definitely not sure how to answer that question.
Yes, because back in the day I used to be a lot more sensitive to what people said about me. And of course I wasn't very tough back in the day because, of course, everyone else kind of towered around me. I was one of the more shorter people in my class, while everyone else was kind of a sports junkie, had more, their biceps were bigger than their brains and all that. Yeah, I mean, it's hard at first, but as you get older, you seem to care less. You seem to forget that you have Asperger's in the first place because you're becoming more in sync with society instead of constantly alienating yourself, saying, "Oh, I'm going to be different from this bloke and that bloke." But in the end, you're just like, "You know what? I'm just going to join in with these people." It's just, yeah. As you're older, you just seem to care less and less.
Mature more.
Mm.
Have you ever felt fully understood with your autism? How do your friends and family support you?
Well, I fully understood autism right now. My friends do support me, but they do not know that I have Asperger's. And my family, well, my brother does have learning disability as well, and my family does support me, but I think it's just so they can make me feel better, even though I know that I have to act like an adult right now, since that I'm 18 years old.
It's a big change.
Yes.
I feel like there is a lot more to discover about myself because, of course, I'm only 18 and I'm still learning, still maturing. In fact, I could probably learn something mind-blowing by the time I'm probably 45 or something. Who knows? Life's a never-ending mystery. And my parents, they treat me like anyone else. They don't alienate me in any way. They don't treat me like a special kid. That needs to be like put in his own room to read his dinosaur books and all that. They treat me like their son. They treat me with love, loving care.
They don't see you no different to how they would see anybody else.
No, absolutely not.
Most of my friends, they don't actually have autism. My family, as much as my knowledge, I don't think one of my family members have autism. So I'm basically like the singled out. But my family, they don't treat me in a special kind of way. They still treat me like, their son. They love me. They're yeah. And my friends, they don't, hold back. They don't, say stuff
They
behind
don't
my.
treat you differently.
No, they don't. I mean, they're my friends.
Yeah. Do you think there needs to be more awareness of autism, especially among the younger generation? What would your message be to help others understand autism more?
Well, I honestly think that autism is becoming a lot more, well known to the masses. Because back in, let's say, when it was first discovered, like back in the 1940s, during I think before World War II, it was kind of like an alien thing. Like if you had it, you weren't understood. You were just usually kind of cast aside, of course. But people started to recognise it more during the mid 80s when classic Asperger's was really into modern Asperger's, which is of course the Asperger's I could be defined to. And since 2016 now, it's becoming so well aware, it's becoming more understood. There's more special classes for the needy. There's more autism awareness than ever. So honestly, I think there is a lot more awareness in the masses when it comes to autism, and such as high functioning and low functioning.
What would your message be?
My message is just just be as nice as you can. Honestly, just don't be a dick. That's all I have to say.
Well, I think autism is already aware. I think now that we're living in a new generation, I think many people are already aware of it. As for the message, I'm not sure what message is for the autism, but I think it would be you have to be nice to each other.
That's a really good message.
That's actually a good question. What I would say is that the younger generation shouldn't let let autism, restrain them from actually open up. While growing up, I was extremely shy. I always tried to step far, far away from a crowd, possibly because I thought, I was the odd one out, So I would say that you should never let autism try to make you feel like you're you're the black sheep. That you should always embrace other people, let other people in your lives open up and never try to stray away from the person you want to be.
It's a really good answer.